Crac's Firebrand, Zion Warriors Book 2, by S. E. Smith. Performed by David Brenin. Chapter 1. Only a sliver of the moon shone, casting a faint light in the early morning hours. It gave the assassins who moved in the shadows an extra advantage, not that they needed it. They were here on a mission, and before the night was over, a large number of people would be dead if they had their way. That had been an argument the two men moving through the isolated encampment had earlier, before deciding it was the only way to deter another attack on those they were trying to protect. While one wanted to get in and get out, the other wanted to send a clear message before he left. No one messed with the descendants of the Freedom Five and lived. No one. The guard never saw the two menacing figures that moved in the darkness behind him. One shadow separated from the other. A moment later, the guard dropped to the floor, dead. In the blink of an eye, the shadow had disappeared again. The focus of their mission was close, and both could feel it. They were there to retrieve a member of the ruling family of Earth that had been kidnapped. Anastasia Miller was the direct descendant of Chance and Violet Miller. Chance had been one of the original members of the Freedom Five, a rebel group that had fought against the Alluthans, an alien race that used up the resources of a world before moving on. His wife, Violet, had been the sister of Gracie Jones, the lone female of the group. Gracie had given up everything she knew in order to save Earth from the aliens who had captured her family and sent her into hiding. She had broken the computer language of the Alluthans. In the end, she sacrificed herself to save the Earth. That sacrifice earned her the title of being the Mother of Freedom back on Earth. Gracie had used one of the Alluthans' own supply ships to travel to the Alluthan mothership, where she uploaded a virus she had programmed. The virus disabled the shields protecting the alien invaders, and shut down the links to their power and communications systems around the globe. With the shields, power, and communications destroyed, the remaining rebel forces on Earth attacked with everything they had, defeating the suddenly defenseless Alluthan armies. Gracie had also programmed the mothership to self-destruct. Everything was going according to plan, until the mothership turned toward the Earth, following Gracie as she desperately tried to return home. Gracie realized that an impact by an object as large as the mothership could destroy the Earth. Understanding there was no other way, she turned the supply ship in a desperate attempt to lead the mothership away before it exploded. What she had not expected or known until 3 years later was that the explosion during the transition into hyperspace had not only destroyed the mothership, it had thrown her over 800 years into the future. She was rescued by Grand Admiral Jeife's warship, the Conqueror, when signals from the damaged supply ship matched those of an unknown species that was attacking the outer colonies of the Confederation. Corden had been tasked with finding the cause and eliminating it. Instead, he had found Gracie. After the war, researchers spent centuries studying the aliens that had invaded their world. They eventually discovered the Alluthans could not naturally reproduce. Instead, they used a cloning system with organic material covering a rare metal skeletal system that flexed and grew depending on the information it was given. Implants were inserted into the brains of the young that developed. Each were linked and controlled through nanotechnology. The Alluthans had captured humans and experimented on them as a desperate attempt to replace the organic material that made up their outer body. Additional findings suggested they were also experimenting with human tissue as a means for cloning additional Alluthans as their own DNA was corrupted. It was later learned that a few human researchers continued the experiments, despite it being illegal to use the few Alluthans that had been captured and neutralized before they could terminate themselves. Now, there was a new threat to her.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?